Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. I'm Stan Gravois, and it is my pleasure to have the head coach of the Nicholls State Colonels football program, Tommy Rybacki, with us as they are playing this week. That's right, folks. I see the smiles across the Bayou region as football happens this week, week 0, with the Nicholls State Colonels taking on the University of Incarnate Word out of San Antonio. Coach Rybacki, thank you so much for giving the time. I know you're a busy man as it stands now with that game this Saturday, but you're always kind and give us time. So thank you very much. I hope everything's going well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Stan. Yeah, things are going well here. It's exciting to be in the game week.
The thing I hear coming out of the camp, and the other thing that happens where, I live not far from campus, so I'll go sit in the stands and watch you guys on scrimmage days. And this is personal, and you could debunk this any way, which way you want. You guys seem very athletic. I have not seen an athletic team overall like this at Nicholls actually in quite some time. Is that fair to categorize your team, one? And two, doesn't always equate necessarily into wins and losses, but has the maturation and gelling process been what you would like it to be?
Yeah, first, I love to be considered an athletic team, and I appreciate that compliment, and hopefully that continues to be what people see when they watch us play. But yeah, I couldn't be more pleased with how this team has come together and where we are from a team standpoint heading into this game week and into starting the season. Our guys work incredibly hard and they work well together. And so I'm very pleased that, we've had the good camp, we've had the great 8-month build to get to this point, and excited to see what we can do this week.
Obviously, it's a situation where you're now first game as a head coach, but you have two, obviously, new coordinators there simply because that was the change in new guard, so to speak. Feeling pretty good about that situation where you have Coach Fertitta and you have Coach Monroe who are coming in and sort of taking over that. And is it a little odd for you? How does that work for you with all of this sort of change in guard?
Yeah, I am. Couldn't be happier with the leadership on the offensive side of the ball with Coach Fertitta, and then also on defense with Coach Monroe. And then we also have a new special teams coordinator, Coach Webb Hamilton. And so I'm very pleased with the leadership of those guys. They've done a great job working with each side of the ball and getting everybody on the same page and working with the players. And so it's exciting to see what they're doing every day. And then also for me, it's a different role. So it's getting into the head coaching role, and there's a lot that goes into executing a game plan and executing a game week from a head coach standpoint. And so that's where my energy has been focused. And man, it's been fun to get involved with that.
So defensively, it's always been I hate to use the cliches, but a run to the ball, attack, get after you, quick defense. We know those names. We hear of all of the accolades of Rasheed Lovelace. You have guys that are back. A player that I absolutely love is Hayden Sheehan, and you have local products, Alex Villavaso and Ethan Lee and those guys. Anything that we need to look at on that defense that is maybe something that would surprise us a little bit, or it's going to be that attack style Nicholls defense that we've seen for the last years?
Yeah, there's a winning formula here at Nicholls, and it's a brand of football that starts with effort and execution, being able to win blocks on the defensive side of the ball and being able to block people on offense, and then also make tackles and make people miss tackles. And that's our brand, and that's what you're going to see from the entire team on Saturday. And so it's exciting to see those guys play, and you're going to continue to see those familiar faces play the way that they've played in the past. And then you'll see some new faces join them along the way that are coming along with this team as we get close.
And listen, I left out Jake Delmato, and obviously he's had some preseason accolades too. So again, we look forward to that. On offense, a little bit of differences there. Obviously, we mentioned Coach Fertitta is going to be working with that group, but you have a guy like Merkel Brock who is back, and Corey Warren, who we've sort of seen in the backfield, Scrappy Osby, who I just love saying his name. But Deuce Hogan is sort of that guy down here we all look at as he's come in, and he certainly has sort of a pedigree behind him. Talk about the offense a little bit and how you feel it has progressed.
Yeah, pleased. Offense this time of year is all about timing and execution. I've been pleased with where we're at. Throughout the preseason scrimmages, you look to see, where you're at from a timing standpoint. How much operational penalties do you have? Are the players executing the plays? And we have been to this point. So I'm really excited about the direction, and credit to that offensive staff for what they've done to put all that together and be at this point heading into game week. And you mentioned some guys that are standout players and have had great careers here, and look forward to those guys continuing to do that. There'll be some new faces, including Deuce Hogan. And, man, Deuce has done a great job ingraining himself into this community, into this team. I would say this, he's 24 years old, and he's mature for a 24-year-old, if you get what I mean by that. He's not your typical 24-year-old. He's grown up, and he handles his business, and he does have a pedigree. He has a lot of really high-end skills that I look forward to seeing him continue to grow and develop as he gets more and more playing time and game experience. And, there's no telling what he can do come Saturday.
Very good. Again, it all happens 12 o'clock, noon, this Saturday, as it is nationally televised. But don't worry about that, folks. We don't care about the national television. We want you all at John L. Guidry Stadium for that game where the Colonels take on the Cardinals. And it's a huge game simply because it's week 0, and we'll have most of the country tuning in for that. We're going to talk more about Nicholls this entire week. We're going to ask Coach Rybacki to stick around. So a lot more with the Nicholls State Colonels when we get back from this break.
Stay tuned for more Bayou Time Sports, brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System, Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bayou Time Sports. Week 0, Nicholls State Colonels in action. And listen, there's only a handful of teams across the country that will be playing this weekend, and we're so proud of the Colonels for being picked for one of those. And I am so happy to have here with me Coach Tommy Rybacki of the Colonels. It is going to be his debut. I have to ask you this, Coach, before we ever start talking about UIW in particular and those things. Some people look at it as a burden maybe to play in week 0. Some people, and I'm sure this is how you feel, just knowing your background and how positive you are, I would imagine you look at it as an opportunity, right?
Oh, man, that is the word. You took it out of my mouth. I mean, it is an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for our team, and it's an opportunity for this community. So we are definitely looking forward to it and excited to have the chance to be there.
UIW is, quite honestly, sort of the benchmark the last couple of years. A very good program that, and I say a very good program. I guess that's just from the outside looking in. I couldn't tell you if they're a good program or not because they do. It's a portal school. They get portal guys in every year and sort of just go from there. And they lose people like Cam Ward. That being said, talk about that team a little bit. What might we expect from UIW this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, they have been a benchmark program since Eric Morris got there and back in 2018. And through the last, 6-7 years, they've really been at the top end of our conference year in, year out. And here most recently, man, they've been in the playoffs. They made great runs in the playoffs and been on the doorstep of some championships. And so it definitely is a great challenge for us. It's a great opportunity, again, to have the champs come and play at your home turf to open the season. Man, what more would you want? And I think you'll expect a competitive game, 2 really good teams that'll be prepared to play.
I mentioned week 0. Is there a challenge with just that? Let's exclude, UIW. Is there a challenge for you, even as all those years as the coordinator of the defense, that you probably didn't have to play in week 0? Do you see something that's different that you may not have been prepared for?
Well, you live in your own world a little bit in football. And so what we did was it modified our summer. Our summer program had to move up a week. We came in a little bit earlier, and then clearly we came in a little bit earlier for fall camp. But we still have the same 5 weeks of getting ready for the game. Now, I would say this, in week 0, there's obviously with it being a linear coverage game like being on ESPN2, there's going to be certain things that go along with that from a media standpoint, and then also the excitement in the community. There's going to be some different events and pep rallies and things like that pull at the team that may not usually happen if the team was playing on the road in the opener like we have in the past. So managing some of those things is a little bit different than a typical first game of the season. But outside of that, man, our preparation is the same. Our practices are what they would be if we were opening on week 1 or week 0. It's about managing, those things, kind of compartmentalizing some time as you get closer to the game to make sure you're focused on the right things.
So a very simple, I don't want to call it a cliche. I don't want to call it, I'm not quite sure how you just answered this. Obviously, you score more points than the other team, but for us to win the game, so just finish that sentence, for the Colonels to be successful at noon, well, let's say come 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, what has to happen?
Man, we got to go out there and play our brand of football. The things that we talked about that you're going to see on Saturday: effort, execution. We got to block well. We got to get off blocks. We got to tackle well. We got to make people miss tackles. We got to do those things that we work, year round on doing. And we do those things well, we'll be in position to win the game, and we'll do it. So that's where the focus is for us. It really is about this team and what we do on the field and the things that we control.
By the way, we have talked about offense and defense. Any concerns with special teams?
No, I'm excited about our special teams units. We got some guys that are really excited to go down the field and cover some kicks. And then also, in the return game, we got some exciting things going there. So look forward to, some positive play on special teams too. It's a very, very important part of the game, one that we spend a lot of time on. And I'm excited about what that group's going to look like on Saturday.
All the folks here in the Bayou region know that you are going in as a head coach for the first time, which is awesome. It's week 0. It's sort of your showcase game, so to speak. That all being said, I've heard from a little bird out there that you always had a ritual with Coach Rebo in the past where y'all went for a run on game day in the morning. And that was a little talking to each other. And I'd imagine that was a little bit of game strategy, but just consoling. How does that happen now? Is that run still happen?
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I mean, Coach Rebo, he used to set some records on those runs, man. This guy's out there running 7-minute miles on Saturday morning of the game. And so, man, we're trying to talk strategy, but a lot of time I was trying to keep up, so not a lot of talking going on. But yeah, definitely a ritual of ours. And man, Coach and I, we still stay in touch and all that. So I do look forward to some runs here soon.
Very good. Very good. Again, it all happens, folks, this Saturday at noon. The Colonels taking on UIW in a game that features our only college team from Louisiana, our Nicholls State Colonels, and we want to pack the place. Coach, just real quick, I don't know if there was not a mandate, certainly you can't mandate, but wear a certain color or anything. I don't know if you were privy to any of that.
Yeah, we're looking to wear red.
Red it out.
Read it out in the game. It's also our military appreciation game. So anybody that would like to recognize those people in the stands and wear some of your military gear or things to support the troops would be great also.
Read it out, folks. And again, we are going to feature the Colonels this entire week on Bayou Time Sports. We do have to take a break. We'll be back with more Coach Rybacki right after this timeout.
Stay tuned for more Bayou Time Sports, brought to you by Terrible General Health System, Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. I am so happy to be joined by Coach Tommy Rybacki, the head coach of the Nicholls State Colonels, as they prepare for their big game this Saturday at noon against UIW. It's the game of the week this week in Louisiana. There's nobody else playing. So we're very proud of our Colonels for being chosen to play in that game. Coach Rybacki, I hope you are doing well, and I hope you guys are ready to go this week.
Yes, sir, we are. A lot of excitement around here in the community, at the university. School gets back this week, so a lot of really good things going on. And, finish the week off with a game at home, and what an awesome opportunity for us.
Let's backtrack just a little bit. You guys had your big Huddle Up Kickoff Classic this past Saturday night. I understand it was absolutely terrific. Talk about that a little bit and how much it means to have that community involvement.
Yeah, great event. Got to give a shout out to David Miller, our Huddle Up president, and also the Huddle Up board who put that event together. First class event. It was awesome to have everybody there. We had a lot of players there, a lot of players' families that were able to get involved and be there. And then our community supporters were there. And man, it really is a team effort to put this group together, to put this season together. And so to have all of those people in one room and be able to spend a little time on Saturday night was really awesome.
Why is community involvement so, I guess, essential? And I get it at, power universities that have these big stadiums and such. But in Thibodaux, where we kind of take pride in the Bayou region, and I know a lot of coaches come in from out of town, as you have, and you sort of really come to love Thibodaux. Why is that community involvement so important?
And this place is so special with the willingness of people to be involved. And, to have a successful program, everybody has to play their role, and you have to have support of people in the community. I mean, there's so many people that step up to help, to help fund some of the things that we do with the players, to help feed the team throughout the year, to help support the guys and give them opportunities to go in the community and do service projects that help them develop as individuals. So many people that help our players find churches to go to, and just, the unique area that we're in the country where people genuinely care about taking interest in strangers and bringing them into the fold and helping them feel comfortable. Man, what a great advantage for us at this university in this part of the country. And so, yeah, it really is one of our strengths, and it's important. And, I look forward to it continuing as time goes on and even growing and more people becoming involved.
What would you say to anybody who's sort of on the fence about making the game on Saturday at noon?
Oh, you got to be out there. Come early, noon game, man. Get out there and let's go. We need all the people in the stands that we could possibly get. We want to pack the stadium out.
I wondered if this was, for you, maybe a little bit of an advantage that it is week 0. And I know you had mentioned earlier, y'all are sort of in an insular world right now, just getting ready for this. But it is at home. Is there any, obviously with the crowd there, it's going to be somewhat of a benefit. But just from a practice routine, you mentioned y'all was starting school this week. What does this week look like for you? And is it a benefit to be at home this first game?
Oh, without a doubt, you always want to play at home. We'd play all 12 at home if we could. But we're getting into our routine. It's great to not have to travel at the end of the week, before this game. And other advantages, man, we're so familiar with these facilities, and our routine is really set throughout fall camp, and it leads right into when school starts, and it's pretty seamless for us. So, yeah, it's exciting to have this game at home for sure.
I would imagine the day that Jonathan Terrell sort of walked into your office and said, "Hey, buddy, we're playing week 0, man. We have UIW in week 0. We're going to be on ESPN2. We're going to be featured across the country." Your first thoughts, and I know, again, with the positive person that you are, opportunity versus burden a little bit. Great opportunity, right?
Yeah, great opportunity. How fitting. Football is, one of the things that I noticed really early on in being at Nicholls is how important football is in this area of the country, in the high schools, in the youth programs, and then also at our universities in South Louisiana. So how fitting for us to really kick off the college football season on national television. The first game in the country that's on American soil is right here in South Louisiana. It's right where it should be, where football is so important and means so much to so many people. So, yeah, what a great opportunity.
Just a little bit of a curiosity question. When does the game plan for UIW specifically go into action? Was that at the beginning of last week? Was that right when you got into fall camp? How did that work?
So we went through 3 weeks of fall camp where we're really just focused on our own installation, our own self, preparing really for the early season games for the first 3-4 weeks of the season, things that we needed to have installed offensively, defensively, and on special teams, but also identifying players on our roster that were ready to contribute and ready to play a meaningful role early in the season. And so that was the first 3 weeks of camp. And then last week we shifted gears and went to Incarnate Word game prep. So we went through last week, and then we'll, reboot and go through this week of a full week of preparation for the game.
Very good. Again, folks, this Saturday at noon. That's right, this Saturday. It's not like we're not saying a couple of Saturdays from now anymore. It's this Saturday. It is on ESPN2, but we encourage you, don't worry about that. Be at John L. Guidry Stadium. It's going to be such a great atmosphere. Coach, we are all excited about it here. We're going to be in that number at the stadium that day, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I would appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Again, the Colonel's in action on Saturday. Thanks to Coach Rybacki for giving us that time. He's a busy, busy man, and he was kind enough to sit with us, and we certainly wish the Colonels the best of luck. We hope they play well on Saturday. We'll be back with more Bayou Time Sports right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.